Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our preview for Only Murders in the Building, Season 3, Episode 4. The great mystery continues. Who killed Ben Glenroy?
hmm
How did they kill Ben Glenroy? And most importantly to Oliver Putnam, how does the play move forward as a musical?
Yeah, and also, how does the play move forward without a lead? I mean, going into this episode, we're set up in a way now where it's like they're moving forward as a musical. They have the showstopper song that
Yeah.
they're like, this is it. Cliff is on board as producer to be like, we are going forward with this. We are going to continue to give money into this play. The rest of the cast is behind it. Everything is perfect. But how do you move into rehearsals when you don't have a lead anymore? So, going into this next episode, they're going to have to find a lead.
I have some big news. They've already found it. It's me. I can sing. See, Oliver has
Oh,
already.
thank God they're bringing in Matthew Broderick. Oh, my
What?
goodness.
What, you don't think I could slay, death rattle, dazzle? I think that is what he is calling this full musical now, which is a very weird name with his like 3 strollers on the poster. But okay, we will talk about actual replacements for Ben within this video. We'll also get into more of the aftermath of the great dressing room mystery. And per almost every YouTube commenter we have received in the last 24 hours, we must discuss the cookie theory.
Absolutely. We're going to be discussing the cookie theory and so much more. But before we do, make sure you join our Patreon. Every Tuesday, we have a live stream going on over there. We had one last night where we discussed the cookie theory and, who could be coming in as the lead. All kinds of only murders theories were discussed last night. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
We've got a link for you in the description if you want to join us for next Tuesday, where we're going to be talking more only murders. But thank you to all our Patreons.
Thank you guys so much. We really, really appreciate it.
All right, let's start with, before we get into the cookie theory, we're going to start with next week's episode and sort of where Oliver is, which is that he needs a leading man. He doesn't have anybody. Everything
Yeah.
else is in place. He's ready to rock and roll. But without a lead, they can't really move into rehearsals. So I'm kind of expecting there to be a whole bunch of people that come through to audition for him. And I think we might get some fun cameos that we just maybe don't know about, that weren't in the trailer. Just some surprise faces that were like, oh, that's funny, or that's cool to see
Yeah.
them. But honestly, I think there's only one choice, and they gave it away in the trailer, where it was just like, it was so fast. All of a sudden, there's Matthew Broderick. He's a Broadway icon, did the producers, knows how to sing, like he's perfect. I mean, he worked on the producers with Nathan Lane, who's also, been on the show for a few seasons. It's just, it makes complete sense that it would be him. And, are we going to see him next episode, or is it going to be a bunch of auditions and then we're going to get to him? I'm not sure, but I don't know who else it is going to be except for Matthew Broderick.
I've got some ideas, everybody.
Besides yourself?
I've been informed that they have taken me out of the running to replace Ben. I'm really sad about it, but you know what? We're gonna try to persevere. We're gonna get through this together. So, Hugh Jackman, loved being on Broadway, handsome man. He could easily carry it. He can definitely sing. I think, Matthew Broderick's probably correct. You're probably right. But I've got a couple more ideas here. Idris Elba. We're covering hijack, so at the moment I'm just like, can
you put him in everything?
Yeah, I want Idris Elba in every single thing possible.
You want a singing, dancing Idris Elba? I would watch that.
Yeah, who does not want a singing? Also, Pedro Pascal, who we're also in the process of casting as everything.
I love him. I would watch him singing and dancing as well.
Yeah, but I think the really good thing about this, if they do this whole parade of cameos, which I do think would be really, really fun. Like, I really like these like audition montages. SNL does like these spoofs of this all the time where they have people coming in and doing impressions, pretending they're auditioning for something. Like,
they did that on The Office too, when Steve Carell left and they had sort of a whole bunch of cameos come through.
yeah, and I think if you're a big name, the idea of, okay, you get to work with maybe Steve Martin and Martin Short and like Selena Gomez for like a day. Like, this wouldn't take more than a day or two. You come in, you do your thing, you leave, and then you pass the baton over to Matthew Broderick, who could be around the rest of the season. I hope he's around the rest of the season. I just like Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, not only is he, a Broadway icon, singing, dancing, he's really funny. I mean, but I mean, most of us have seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. His comedic timing is so good. So to have him on a show that's funny, that's, this season more of a musical, that's theater, like, he's so perfect.
And I think it's also just going to be really fun watching someone else, presuming they hire someone. I just don't think I don't know how they can like promote somebody from within, because they need a big name. Like, they need somebody to sell the musical, but somebody who is basically going to be coming in to all of this carnage and messiness and, like, Kimber being really competitive, whatever's going on with Loretta, is she really like all this different stuff.
Yeah, they need some sort of star power. And no offense to Jonathan, the understudy, who I'm sure is like, put me in, coach. I'm here. Let's go. I'm sure Oliver wants to have a big name.
Okay, so for the next discussion about the cookie theory, there needs to be some preparation here. One, I'm putting on a hard hat.
Oh.
Two, I'm getting a sword. Like, maybe I'm getting like the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda, and I'm prepared
Are you
for battle.
To fight the commenters?
I am prepared to battle all of the commenters, because, listen, there were so many people who were like, obviously Ben is talking to the cookies in the dressing room on the video footage. That is the only answer. There can be no other answer. It is obviously the cookies. I am here to say, you may be right, but you know what? I'm fighting for what I believe in, everybody. Sometimes you got to put yourself out there and prepare for battle, and I am prepared.
All right. Well, what is it you believe in then?
I believe that they want you guys to think that he's talking to the cookies. I think it is, the way in which he spoke. Admittedly, I'll sit here and say, like, after watching it, I didn't think he was talking to the cookies at all. Like, that never crossed my mind until I saw the commenters, so I will own that. But I think it is way more interesting if he's talking to an actual person, and that this is meant to throw us off and make us think that he's talking to the cookies. Or, here is where I will give the cookie theory some element of credence. Maybe he is talking to the cookies, but there's somebody else in the room, and he's having this sort of weird conversation with the cookies. Like, who talks to food like this is an entirely different story, but, like, while someone else is there. Because if there's not somebody else there, like, what's the point of this as a reveal at the end of the episode? Like, I think we all could have assumed beforehand that this is probably how whatever happened to him happened to cause the incident on stage. It was probably due to something he ate or something he drank. Like, we all kind of can already assume that. So this, unless they are just trolling us, which this sword will be used to go after the producers if they're just trolling us, there's got to be something more here.
Okay, I've got on my tinfoil hat.
Right.
I don't have on my hard hat because it could very easily be the cookies. The dialogue that he was having with whoever was in the room is either someone that can really ruin his career, like your Cliff theory, which I think is really good. The Loretta theory that I had, that she's kind of a bit of a honeypot and is trying to move herself in different directions in her career, because we've seen her, being a little sweet with Oliver, being a little sweet with Dickie, who's now her manager, and it's possible that she was doing that with Ben as well, which is why later Ben was like, you're a snake. And if she was in the room, him being like, you act like you're sweet, but you're bad. But all of that dialogue does work with the cookie theory as well. I'm not going to lie, I was really shocked by the overwhelming response in the comments that everyone is just 100% sure that it's the cookies. It might be the cookies. The only thing that I found kind of weird about the idea that it's cookies is that nobody sits by themselves and has that long of a conversation without another person there. Like, I think we've all talked to ourselves or whatever, or looked at, a plate of wings and it's like, I don't think I'm going to eat that. But that whole conversation was quite a lot to be having with something that's that's an inanimate object. Now, that being said, it was set up that he has a really hard, battle with cookies specifically, and he doesn't want to eat them. He's trying to keep lean for his roles. He knows he can't have them. It could ruin his career. All the dialogue makes sense. This is where I think it's going, if it's the cookie theory, that he's in there just talking to himself, sort of thing. Yes, it's being set up with more of not who was in the room with him, but who put those cookies in the room. Because I think we all agree the cookies have in it whatever it is that killed him the first time on stage. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. But who brought them in? Who's the person who left them there? I think the bigger picture thing is about Tobert, and that he wanted to give that footage to Mabel as a distraction, that he knows that it's nothing because he's seen that footage. So he knows that it's a big nothing burger and that he's just in there talking to a plate of cookies, and who cares, right? Like, it's nothing, whatever. I'll give her this so that she doesn't see what else is going on, because I think he killed him at the elevator. And I think that he has other footage that might lead up to that. And that's what he was trying to get his hands on. So I think that's really the bigger picture of this. Oh, he's talking to the cookies. Oh, it's kind of a throwaway. Yeah, it kind of is. We all know that it's the cookies that probably had the poison or whatever in it. But I think bigger picture, it's the smoke screen that, Tobert is looking to use to get Mabel off his case.
Okay, here's where I am with all of it, because I want to be diplomatic here. I don't want you people throwing cookies at me for the rest of Only Murders in the Building Season 3. I respect you. I see you. I understand you. However, I am still of the belief that, you know what? He's probably talking to someone while the cookies are in the room, and he's putting on a little bit of a show for them. He's just like having fun doing a bit with these cookies in front of somebody else, because as you said, who talks to food like this? I think he is doing this to sort of play around while somebody is in the room who clearly knows him well enough that they can appreciate or at least observe this bit and have some sort of reaction. Also, how long does this footage go for? Like, we got a snippet of the footage. Like, somebody had to walk into the room at some point. Like, is that something that is out there? Are these cookies like 2 days old? Because if you're eating like stale cookies that have been in your dressing room for that long and there's no footage of anything, you really have a problem, because those cookies ain't good anymore. I'm just saying that.
It's also possible that Tobert lied and that he is actually just in the room. Like, he made up this story, or he said this story that kind of doesn't make a lot of sense, where he's just like, oh, Ben grabbed my camera and it was still rolling and he ran it into the room. And I mean, I was kind of like, that's weird. Why would he do that? And then start to have a conversation by himself with the camera in the room. Like, Tobert is the documentarian. So anyone who's been the subject of a documentary knows that the documentary crew is going to follow you even if you don't want them to. They're going to follow you everywhere, and that includes in the dressing room. So, Tobert, I just think you were in the room. Like, the more that I'm thinking about it, I just think that his story is just, nonsense. I think he's in the room. And it's possible that Ben is having this conversation with the cookies. I'm not saying that that's not anything, but, Tobert, I think he's in the room.
I think Cliff is in the room, because I still think Cliff is the one who did all this. And it is a crime of passion because he felt hurt that him and Ben had a secret relationship, and maybe Ben is talking to the cookies and talking to Cliff at the same exact time, because he knows this relationship could be bad for him and it could take apart his image that he has created, that he's not willing to put this part of himself out there, and Cliff is really hurt by all of it. Like, there are admittedly still 2,000 different theories that are out there for this season. The cookies could be a part of it. The cookies may not be a part of it. I just want
Cookies are part of it.
I just want cookies at this point. That is the real message of all of this.
Also, can I just say,
Yeah.
like, how rough of a name Tobert is? Tobert, Robert, Tobert. I can't get it right to save my life, and he's my choice as the second murderer. So, guys, please bear with me throughout the season as I get his name wrong all the time. I am sorry, Robert Tobert.
Listen, we all have our names. Like, let's put it there. I think there's been shows we've covered before that I just said the name wrong for the entirety of the whole season, and then after the fact, I was watching it back. I was like, I didn't ever get that right, did I?
I know.
It happens. Okay, well, that is our preview for Only Murders in the Building, Season 3, Episode 4. We will, of course, be back next week to break down all of this and celebrate all of our wins, because we are obviously so correct about every single thing when it comes to the show.
Okay, no.
No, but all right, well, be sure to join our Patreon. We've got a link in the description below. Live streams over there every Tuesday. Thank you guys so much to those who are supporting us already, and we'll see you here next time.